Throughout human history, one thing has been a constant: crime. There are many types of crimes committed and many types of investigators who look into them. Criminals get very creative to stay ahead of the law. Find out crime doesn't pay. Join Jess Nasty as he dissects various crimes, mysteries, and disappearances.
Crime Maze.
Hello everyone! Thank you for joining me today. Of course, my name's Jason and I go by ESTEY'S Crime Maze. Thank you to all my subscribers. I really appreciate the support. This channel is taking off. I'm super excited. Of course, we've been doing a lot of videos on the Idaho 4 for you Idaho 4 true crime junkies out there. And people new to my channel, again, welcome. Again, I hope if you enjoy my videos that you'll subscribe. And you'll smash that like button as well, hit the thumbs up, hit the bell icon to be notified for future videos, and feel free to leave me a comment, everyone. I'm trying to move a little bit, but I slipped my disc this morning. But you know what? We're going to do a video today because this is important, potentially. Embry, somebody is doing videos and people are talking about, it's going around the circuit now apparently in the community, that Embry could be deleted, unalived, for apparently exposing dangerous people. Embry's narrative, he tries to apparently convince you that the Aryan family, the Aryan Knights, actually did the hit, in this so-called unaliving in the Idaho 4, which I show, in my opinion, was an extraction removal operation done by the amazing U.S. Marshals in Moscow, Idaho. That's right. And the students are protected under the WITSEC program, most likely. They're relocated, everyone. And as I get into it in my videos, I hope you'll listen. Those of you that are new to my channel, there was surveillance all over the house. We know this. Patrols everywhere. No perps could have went in and done unalivings, let alone gangbangers, and leave two roommates alive, and you got a 911 call delayed 8 or 9 hours. It doesn't happen, folks. The only thing that makes sense, in my opinion, the feds rescued them. But Embry's narrative and his information is completely opposite. And he's got no evidence to back up that any perps did an atrocity. And he doesn't get into the staged crime scene. You see, I exposed Embry, my friends. I'm the only YouTuber that I know of that has exposed Pavarotti. Embry? No, Pavarotti? My friend Ellie loves to make fun of his name. But really, everyone, he hasn't done a video apparently in a full 5 days. When this video goes out, maybe he hasn't done a video, who knows, in 6 or 7 or 8 days. Anyway, but the story goes that, let me just read you, there was a couple, apparently, that was unalived. Unfortunately, it's a sad case. A husband and wife. And now a few YouTubers are starting to say, well, he looks like Embry. He's wearing glasses. He looks very similar. And to me, it kind of does. I saw the picture. I could show it for you here in this video, everyone. Have a look. Do you think it's Embry? Do they look alike? What's going on here? And they were unfortunately stabbed to death, this couple. And God rest their souls, my friends, whoever this couple was. Pavarotti included, I guess, right? I mean, but, is this a psyop? Is this possibly a publicity stunt that's being orchestrated? Maybe not even by Pavarotti himself, by other people, like, to make Pavarotti maybe he legitimately needs a break, right? And then YouTubers are going to speculate that this couple was Pavarotti, Embry. I don't know, folks, but, or what about this, everyone? Is it possible that somebody like me I got probably about 3,000 or 4,000 views on exposing Embry. I don't know what's it up to now, but I got a big response from all of you out there. And I got a lot of bashing too. People that support him, and that's fine. But understand, as I've said in my videos, everyone, when you go hard and fast in a belief system, like listening to a narrative and all the videos from somebody like Pavarotti, just understand it's hard to change your mind. Psychologists will tell you that. I could explain further, but I'm not going to go any further. So, and I'm not trying to change people's minds, everyone. If you want to support this guy and his videos, fine. But again, is he deleted? Is he unalived? This is interesting. I wonder too, is it possible that he's disappeared, hopefully not unalived, but has he disappeared from the YouTube circuit because I and other people are starting to think, well, wait a second. Could he be a disinformation, misinformation agent? Again, pushing out this atrocity happening by Aryan family, Aryan Knights, never telling you to look at the staged crime scene. In my opinion, everybody, and other people have talked about it, right? They never treated this like a health hazard. This was a federal operation from day one, my friends. They're trying to hoodwink you, the public. Meanwhile, the 4 students are most likely have been extracted. That's the only reason you'd have 2 roommates alive. That's the only thing that makes sense, in my opinion, right? Everyone in delayed 911 calls, they said earlier. But again, Embry wants you to apparently convince you that no, he thinks it's the Aryan family, the Aryan Knights. And they did all these, it's horse shit, my friends. There's no evidence, in my opinion, to support this. Absolutely nothing. Okay? So in my opinion, it's horse crap. Anyway. So I'm wondering, has he disappeared because I exposed him? And I exposed him thoroughly. And I just asked a lot of hard questions. And I challenged Jay Embry, the people that support Embry. Some of them think he's the alpha male. Really? Well, I challenged this guy to a boxing fight for raising money for charity. And I challenged, more importantly, to an interview. That's right. To answer some of the hard questions that I think more and more people are asking about Pazzarotti. Where did you come from? Who are you? You know, the guy wears glasses all the time. Never shows his eyes. To me, that's a Fed move. I mean, you gotta be careful, everyone. That Feds do that. We gotta wonder, is he a Fed? Who's he working for? Is he really solo? Just asking the questions, folks. And I think more of us should, instead of jumping again into a hard power, this hard, fast belief system with some of these YouTube creators. I'm just saying, in my opinion, folks. And again, when you listen to me, just see do I connect the dots? Obviously I'm not going to appeal to everybody out there, but I'm telling you, everyone, just look through a different lens, as Bertie says. I think the extraction removal operation, there's so much validity to it, my friends, and the WITSEC program, right, which stands for Federal Witness Protection Program in the United States. But back to Jay Embry, my friends. You see, I exposed him. I also did an apology video to him. Yes, I did. I actually got more views, I think, on the apology video to Jay Embry, Pavarotti. But no, I did. And because in one of my videos, I thought he never talked about the WITSEC program at all. I was pretty sure of it, I said in my video. But he actually did. He went through some FBI papers. Meanwhile, they only talk about the basics of the WITSEC program, right? And again, Pazzarotti doesn't connect the WITSEC program to the 4 students being most likely in a WITSEC program. That they weren't stabbed, unalived. It was all a psyop. It was all staging. Again, my opinions, but I think the facts back it up, my friends, when you really look at this case, okay? Now, and Steve G, he's just a Fed in my opinion too. He's putting out this emotionally charged high narrative on purpose. It's like a script to convince you that this atrocity happened to his daughter and the other 3. And these are beautiful students, my friends, but they are alive and they are protected. I truly believe that. So, back to Pazzarotti, my friends. I have to laugh because if you check out my videos, those of you that haven't so far, check out my recent baby. Not only my interview with Ellie, we don't talk so much about Pazzarotti in the interview, but there's a baby video I have for you, everyone, done by an amazing YouTuber, obviously with a great sense of humor. He goes by Outcast 404, I believe. Check him out, my friends. And Ellie edited his video for me. I got it up on my channel with Outcast doing AI, literally having my face, yes, my face, as a baby. I mean, and he's got Pazzarotti, Jay Embry, Pavarotti's face as a baby. And we're in a dispute because, you see, everyone, when I challenged Pavarotti, apparently I got on his feed. He admitted my videos are getting, I guess, out to big YouTubers now, sometimes on their feeds, which is great news. I'm trying to bring truth and transparency as much as I can to this case, everyone. So Pazzarotti He admitted my video came on his feed. By the way, he didn't show any intellectual integrity and honesty. He didn't even say my channel's name. He just said Estey, this Estey guy, this crazy Estey guy, you know. What a bunch. You see, he didn't say my channel name, everyone, because he knows, as Ellie said, a lot of his followers are going to come to my channel. And they're probably going to realize that they've been bamboozled by this guy, I think. And that's what he doesn't want, in my opinion, everyone. And he doesn't want to be asked the hard questions. Okay? In my opinion. The guy doesn't even do interviews. This is what I said in my videos, everyone, in my challenge to Passerati. Do some interviews, man. How about interviewing somebody like me or anybody that's got opposite viewpoints? Especially connecting the extraction operation theory. There wasn't any gangbangers or cartel members that could have went in this house and did a quadruple unaliving when, again, the feds had surveillance all around. They were amped up they saw, you know, they knew they were going to do this drug bust in Washington State. They knew they had a confidential informant, most likely, right? We suspect at 1122 King Road living in the house. The confidential informant was compromised, most likely, and legally the feds, therefore, can stage a violent event if a confidential informant has been compromised. I say this in my videos, everyone. I describe it to you. I tell you. Look it up. You don't have to depend on me, my friends. You can look this up. It's true. And I think it totally relates to the Idaho 4. But again, Passerati doesn't tell you any of this. And I think he should. If he wants to be really honest, and the truth on this case. I'm just saying, everyone. So my baby video, you hear me, it's so hilarious. I'm saying, Jay Embry, he doesn't tell you about the forensic leaks. He doesn't tell you about there was no raw crime scene footage of the crime scene, no uncensored photos. Why? Passerati should be telling you, I said in the video in so many words, I said mainstream media, we know nowadays, especially, they almost always get, right, uncensored photos, leaked photos or autopsy photos, etc., everyone. But this didn't happen in this case. Because I would argue, reason, logic, common sense, my friends, there wasn't a real crime scene. No. There wasn't all kinds of blood, blood everywhere. The red on the foundation of the house, my friends, that's just all part of the psyop, the staging. But again, Passerati doesn't tell you this. He tells you the opposite. Okay? So anyway, it was funny. I think you guys, gals, a lot of you may find it funny with me having this dispute. And Outcast and myself on the YouTube channel, we show you, he's got Passerati replying back to me. Again, saying this, I got this Estey crazy guy and.
Like you. Believe me. Oh yeah, while I'm going through this, I got this freaking crazy guy out there, this Estey guy. He wants to debate me. Now you say he wants to box me. Now, I don't have 2 seconds to debate that guy over that nonsense he's spewing, and I don't believe he believes it, so I wouldn't waste my time and effort. Would like to box his ears, though.
Put at least 2 stipulations before I can even have a chance to interview him. I gotta get 2,500 subs. I'm on my way. I got a long ways to go, but we're on our way, my friends. But I get 2,500 subs, and then we'll have a boxing fight. But if I win the boxing match, I have to win. Then I might be able to interview him. This guy's an absolute joke, in my opinion, everyone. A bad joke. And did I play a role in him not doing any videos, being potentially deleted from YouTube? Hopefully not unalived. Or maybe the feds are so fed up with this guy, my friends. Is that possible? I think the feds are sick and tired of this Passerati pushing out Aryan Knights, Aryan families, committed a quadruple unaliving, giving no credit to the feds. He actually did the opposite. Did you know that, everyone? In one of his videos, I said this in my videos, he literally told you, and I'm almost quoting verbatim, he thinks that the feds didn't have enough security. They didn't realize the threat was escalating, that it was so high, he says in so many words. And then he says he thinks that the feds just provided enough security to protect the families, the parents. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Of course not. Of course the feds would provide lots of protection for those students, especially a confidential informant most likely living at 1122 King Road. A lot of people suspect Bethany, right, everyone? They absolutely knew. They knew what was going on at the grub truck, most likely. And Keely texting. She was probably texting the federal agent to get picked up. If you really think about it, everyone, it's speculation, but I think so, most likely. So again, everyone, the feds had, and again, they had surveillance all over the house. Even Steve G, who I normally don't trust, admitted that to you, my friends. I don't even know if Embry really goes over that. Steve G admitted 2 times surveillance all over the house and neighborhoods. Okay, we saw the patrols, and there's undercover cops all over the place. We saw the feds at the band field. I mean, the list goes on. So how could perps? Why would they take a risk to go in and do a quadruple unaliving? I mean, come on. Yes, the students were targeted, my friends. Yes, they could have been targeted in some way by gangbangers, somebody, a cartel group, organization. That is very possible. I don't deny that. But it's a whole other speculation, and it's a very bold statement with no evidence. And I think it's wrong to say that, again, elements of Aryan Family, Aryan Knights actually did the atrocity. No. It was staged. The feds knew. They extracted these students, my friends. That's where Pazzarotti and I really disagree with one another. But we could have an amazing theoretical debate. We could have an amazing debate interview about this. But he won't do it, everyone, because I don't think he's man enough. I challenged him, but you saw it, everyone. He's a little pussy-wussy, in my opinion, the way he acted, putting those 2 stipulations, not saying my YouTube channel name, right? Just saying Estey. Guy's a bad joke. But you know what? I'm over it. Sorry, I can't even stand up straight right now, my friends. I won't be boxing Pazzarotti anytime soon in the next few weeks, that's for sure, because I slipped my disc. But anyway, is he deleted? That's what this video is about, everyone. It's supposed to be about. Is Pazzarotti gone? Let me just read you real quick what I wrote here. Yeah, I said Google showed this guy apparently of this. They look like probably they're a beautiful couple. That he looked apparently similar to Pazzarotti. I really don't know. I'll show you the picture. Hopefully in this video you can see everyone. You can make up your mind. And again, Pazzarotti never takes his glasses off in his videos. Bizarre. That's a Fed move in my opinion. It's huge red flags. You wonder, is he a Fed? You know, a lot of people have said, is Pazzarotti, could he be FBI? Does he have a law enforcement background? You know, I might know a little bit more than I'm even letting on to you guys and gals. And there's reasons for that. But let's ask the questions. People are fearful that he's been unalived. This couple was stabbed, as I said earlier, everyone. And his name is Benjamin Roy Naylor. The family's saying he had mental illness. So I guess the person that stabbed them, I believe, my friends, was Benjamin Roy Naylor. I'll show that picture of this guy. And the family said he had mental illness. And mental illness can be used as a cover story. So I don't know what the facts are, my friends. I really don't. But obviously it's very curious. This Pavarotti, J. Embry, he calls himself. He's been doing hundreds of videos, does videos almost pretty much every day now. And by the way, you know, it's a discrepancy here, but he told you, or the public, back just before May or something, I think he said that starting in May, he basically said he wasn't going to do potentially any more videos again because he had this construction business on the side. And so he's trying to get out all the information. And, well, whatever he said there, he certainly resolved that issue, right? Never talked about it again. He just kept pumping out videos every day. You know, but anyway. And he puts out some good information, my friends. I don't deny that. But when he keeps saying, he brags about, he goes by the facts and the court docs. Well, hello. If it was a staged crime scene, you can look up the law, my friends. The feds can actually fudge court docs. Yeah. And they can do all of the sealings that we saw, all these sealed information. So any documents and court docs that Embry, you know, has been able to go over, and sometimes it's interesting, but he's gotten nowhere, as Ellie said. He's gotten largely nowhere, my friends. And he doesn't get to the meat of the issue. That those 4 students, they weren't unalived. There's no evidence to show that, A, they were unalived. There were no body bags coming out. There was no public funeral service. No uncensored photos, right, everyone? No public open casket ceremony. I meant to say for all 4. Because again, my friends, if there's an extraction removal operation, you'll never have an open public casket ceremony. That's just a fact. And you could say, well, it's just a coincidence that they were cremated. No. And I think they were cremated, or said to be cremated because you can't exhume a body, everyone. There's no forensic evidence that these students were unalived, right, everyone? And again, college students, I said in the live with Ellie, we brought it up. college students, and I had comments saying this too, so many college students around, they would have been taking photos big all over the place if they were unalivings, my friends, whether it be body bags coming out, they go in the house taking pictures, potentially the blood, etc. And no blood mentioned on the 911 call. Does Pazzarotti mention that, my friends? No. To my knowledge, he mentions nothing of that. Why wouldn't the 911 caller, Dylan Morris and Bethany Funk, if there was blood everywhere, they would mention that on the 911 call? You would think. I mean, come on, right, everyone? So again, so much staging. I could talk for another half hour just on that staged crime scene that it was, my friends. But Pazzarotti doesn't tell you that. And you gotta ask why. You gotta ask that, my friends, if you really are being honest, I think. But again, if people want to support him, that's fine too. But I challenged this guy to an interview. But he won't do it. He just did one interview that I know of with A.R. Hayes of Convict Stuff. That's it. He won't interview anybody else, my friends. I think it was a half-ass interview with A.R. Hayes. But anyway, so thank you for listening, everybody. Has Jay Embry been deleted? Has he been unalived? He hasn't done a video in 5 days. Or is it that he's having to take a break or quit YouTube altogether because he's been exposed by somebody like me with my channel growing rapidly, and I'm about to do a big interview, my friends. It may have already taken place when this is edited and put on YouTube. Okay? Is that why Jay Embry's not doing any videos, my friends? Because he knows I went after him, respectful but firm. And I asked the hard questions from this guy, and I also asked him to do an interview, and he won't do it, my friends. And I've exposed him that he doesn't have any evidence to back up that Aryan family and Aryan Knights took out an atrocity on these students, my friends. And he doesn't get into the fact that the students could be protected under the WITSEC program. And he doesn't show you the clip from Bubbly Waters, my friends. I'm almost positive. Check for yourself, everyone. Pazzarotti, this is why I get so amped up. He never showed you. He's collaborated with Bubbly Waters. He rightly praises Bubbly Waters, who does amazing research. She's a great woman by all accounts, everyone. An amazing YouTuber and on the Idaho 4, right? But Bubbly Waters recently showed you the clip, and I showed you in my videos. She caught Christy G blurting out, Maddie just bought a house.
Maddie just bought a house,
These are generations that have stopped.
What? Did you guys just hear that? Look at Christy's hand.
Maddie just bought a house,
She almost finished the word. We all know what she meant. She was going to say house, right? Maddie just bought a house. House. So, and then she left the interview, Christy G, because she knew she screwed up, I think, right, everyone? Even Bubbly Waters was laughing. She could tell that obviously Christy G didn't mean to blurt that out. You see, my friends, in my opinion, Steve G and Christy G, they sometimes say a little bit too much, even though they're running on a kind of a script, I think, a narrative. And we'll talk more about that in future videos. So there you go. Has Pazzarotti shown you that clip, my friends? No, because it goes against his narrative, right? It goes totally against his narrative that the Aryan family, Aryan Knights did this atrocity. It shows you most likely there was no atrocity, my friends, because Maddie would be alive. Christy G just accidentally told you Maddie just bought a house. So she's probably in the WITSEC program, the Federal Witness Protection Security Program. And apparently you can buy houses sometimes in these protected programs. That's the real reality of this case, my friends. And Kaylee Gonzalez will be in WITSEC. She'll be protected. And hopefully her and Maddie can still at least somewhat live together or be close in the same vicinity. I don't know how, exactly. We may never know, everyone, right? If you're protected under the WITSEC program, we, the public, will never have a chance to see them, ever again, probably. And that means digital trails, digital transact, etc. So anyway, my friends, that's all I got to say. Thank you. Has Jay Embry. I'll say the same thing as other YouTubers. Has Jay Embry been deleted? Is he possibly unalived? Has he been, is it because he exposed dangerous people? I'm being sarcastic, everybody. But I think the feds wouldn't like at all what he's putting out, in my opinion, that Aryan Knights, Aryan families took out a quadruple unaliving. Think about how much power that gives to some of these gangbangers, right? And people wouldn't even want to snitch necessarily, would they? Hearing this nonsense? Come on, folks. And there was surveillance. The point is there was surveillance all over the place. And by the way, gangbangers, cartel organizations, a lot of these members, they can be rehabilitated. Let's never forget that, everyone. I never want to imply that these are all evil people. Not at all. And the good news again, everyone, There was no unalivings. There was no perps, I don't think, that did this. No evildoers, whether it be gangbangers, cartel organizations. Okay, everyone? Because it was a staged crime scene. Yes, there could have been some people, some evildoers, though, after these students. Obviously, somebody was, my friends, and it probably wasn't Brian Koberger. We know that. He didn't do this. He had nothing to do with it, probably. But anyway, thanks for listening, everyone. Where is Jay Embry? Who knows? Pazarati, who knows where he is? But I still got hard questions for this guy, but I think he's running scared, my friends. I think he could be running scared because of me, in part. I don't want to sound too narcissistic at all, but again, I exposed this guy. I was the first one to do it and ask the hard questions of a YouTuber like him. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he's just running to the hills right now. Hopefully not really unalive. Maybe he's just a coward and running away. I don't know. You guys make up your minds what you think. Anyway, so I want to put this video, and thank you so much for listening, everyone, and I really appreciate it. This is ESTEY'S Crime Maze. I hope you new to the channel will subscribe. I hope, even if you support somebody like Pazarati, I hope you might subscribe. If for no other reason, maybe you'll help me get closer to that 2,500 so I can have a boxing match and, more importantly, interview somebody like Pazarati. But then again, he may never come back, everyone. He may be so thoroughly exposed. And if he's working for somebody, they're probably saying, don't you dare do any more videos. You've been exposed.
PAV block, it's a PAV switch. And once you flip the PAV switch, well, it flips their switch and they no longer like you.
By ESTEY'S Crime Maze. Think about that one, everyone. Thank you. I hope you smash that like button again. Hit the bell icon, my friends. Get notified for future videos. And feel free to leave me a comment. I read them. I appreciate your engagement, everyone. And I hope you might share my videos too. That also helps with the algorithms. Thanks, everyone. Have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. And by the way, you look beautiful. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
PAV block, it's a PAV switch. And once you flip the PAV switch, well, it flips their switch and they no longer like you.